Hey, welcome to another episode of the Harry Singer Foundation's Empowering Women Show. And as always, I'm super excited about, as for many people, it's about reconnecting with them. So I am absolutely blessed to have been exposed to and witnessed the journey of so many empowering women. And today's guest is none other than the amazing Luissa Burton. And like I do every time, I want to give you a flavor, get you an intro of who this person is, and just the tip of the iceberg of what they've achieved before I bring her in. So let me introduce you. Luissa is a social media influencer. She's a speaker, a global speaker. She's a coach. She's a healer and a light worker. And that list could go on because there's so many things she has, roles and responsibilities. But let's look at some of her achievements, right? So number one, she is one of the UK's most successful beauty queens. And I'm just going to give you a few of the achievements she's had. She's had the title of Miss Earth, Miss England, and 5 other GB titles underneath. I was going to say under her belt, but up on her head, right, as a crown. So she's also now, and she's taken on this brand because when she put pageantry aside, she still took that passion, and now she is the official Green Queen. And this is a big part of what she does now. So you'll see that through as it comes, because she then created this hashtag, Green is the New Sexy. And now she has a column, Green is the New Sexy, in Exquisite International magazine. And on top of that, she's climbed Europe's tallest mountain for the British Skin Foundation. And there's a reason. Many of you know I talk about find your voice and serve with impact. Find out what's really important to you. And I know the British Skin Foundation is a very, it's an organisation that's dear to her heart. And what came from that, right? She managed to raise over £10,000, and there was a documentary created from it, and it won a Best Documentary Award. So I just want you to understand is I've been able to serve with Luissa, but I've seen her from afar. She gets to serve all corners of the world. But what is she doing? She's speaking, but she's also sharing the message of self-peace. And why I'm so proud of her and so excited to bring her to share her journey with you as an amazing, empowering role model for women is this concept of self-peace is about Luissa overcoming her own challenges and turning them into gifts and helping other people. So I'm going to let her talk a little bit more about that. And then she has this vision that I found about recently where she's got this vision and mission to transform 1,111 villages through permaculture. But it's the way I say 1,111, for those that are spiritually inclined, you know there's massive value in that number of 1111, right? And I want to, like I do with all my guests, I want to make sure that everyone understands what's the mission. What is this Luissa, what does she do authentically and consistently? This is what she's about. She is about, because her mission is to make being and acting, not just being or just acting, being and acting green, hip, aspirational and cool. And she is walking, speaking, living, breathing that. So without further ado, I want to bring her straight in and say, hey Luissa, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule around the world, promoting self-peace and making green sexy again, and joining us on this episode. So thank you so much for joining us. It's the first thing I want to say to you.
Oh, thank you, and thank you for the wonderful introduction.
Oh, I always say it to all my guests, you guys send me, my team will research and find so much about you, but because I know you, I sort of draw out the bits that really light me up, and it's just, like I said, it's just the tip of it. And in fact, on that note, I've given everybody and all the viewers and the people that are listening a bit about some of your achievements, but I always want to find out a little bit about your backstory. Like, if you could just share with people, what was Luissa's, because remember, we see the show reel, we see the highlight reel, right? I want people to get a feel of what makes you amazing isn't just all these accolades. I want you to give people a little bit about your journey that got you to do these things. So please do share.
Sure. So Originally, I always wanted to be a singer, but then that didn't really work out. So I got scouted in Birmingham at the clothes show when I was 14, and I also won a Ralph Lauren modelling competition when I was 10 years old. And I had never thought about modelling, but because of these things, I then decided to go around the modelling agencies when I was about 16 in London, and then things just kind of went from there. It wasn't that I specifically wanted to be a model, so to speak, but then things just started going well. But at the same time, I have two skin conditions. Thankfully, right now, I'm pretty healed right now, but they can flare up at any time, which is totally normal. So these are eczema and psoriasis. And as you can imagine, in the modeling industry that is based on perfection, this isn't the most easy thing to do, especially in such a competitive and cutthroat industry. So, you know, as I kind of grew up and continued, it was difficult. You know, sometimes I would get sent away from a shoot if I was having a flare up, and I'm just like, well, you edit the photos anyway, does it really matter? But for me, that kind of gave me an impetus to just say, actually, why does it need to be like that? Because when I actually started, it was a lot more restrictive and a lot less diverse. Thankfully, it's getting better and it's much better now. But, you know, back when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, it was a lot more restrictive. So that gave me this fire in my belly of, oh, actually, I want to prove that you don't have to be perfect in order to be in this industry and that we should change it. So I was very much kind of a forward-thinking teenager in that aspect, and also being an Aries, nobody can tell me what to do. So I just kind of went for it. And then after that, I kind of found myself in pageantry as well, because that was a way to use my platform, use my voice to raise money for the causes that I believe in, which, like you said, was the British Skin Foundation. So yeah, I experienced a lot of bullying when I was younger. I've been called all kinds of horrible names that I don't like to give too much attention to now. But it's just about knowing that it doesn't matter if your skin isn't perfect or whatever your limitation is. I hope that my story helps anyone to see that, you know, I overcame something in an industry based on perfection. Then what can you do? What is your limitation? And you actually inspired me, Harry. Turn your worst days into best days.
Yeah. No, I when people say I got to meet you, I remember at a time when I was running empowerment programs for, you know, beauty pageant competitions, and I saw very early on about that was a leadership program that was about empowering women. It wasn't, you know, all the dodgy press that they get. It's all about beauty and external beauty. And you know, when we got you breaking boards, and just I remember when I first connected with you and you were sharing what you just shared now, that, you know, for someone to make it successful in that world, but having, you know, bouts of eczema and, you know, Cyrus, I was like thinking, how do you overcome that? It's like and it's like where you are now in relation to, you know, the power of your human spirit, whether it's you're an Aries birth sign or whatever. It was just about, you already had that power, you took that power, and, you know, now you're doing amazing things. So, you know, talk a little bit about the things that you are doing, you know, give people a flavor of some of those experiences in your own world. What lights you up on all these things that you're doing? Because you did the beauty pageant thing, you were super successful, and then you got to a point where you're like, you know, this is great, but there is something bigger that's, you know, burning up inside you that you wanted to get out. So go ahead, tell people a bit about that transformation.
Well, it was never about being, you know, crowned the most beautiful woman in whatever I was competing for. It was more about what I was able to do with getting the visibility. And so that was always my motivation. And it wasn't until I went to Miss Earth in 2016. I'd always been someone that was, you know, David Attenborough was my idol. I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro when I was 21, and I was super enthralled by the nature and all those kinds of things. And so I already had that within me. But when I went to Miss Earth and we got to go around the Philippines for a whole month, planting trees, talking at universities, I met the greenest man on the planet who, when meeting him, I was just like, wow, this is so cool. You can do this as a living and you know, actually help the planet rather than harm it through your job. I was like, okay. So after,
and just for clarity, the greenest man on Earth isn't the Incredible Hulk, right?
No, he's called Green Man, and
Yeah.
he lived in a tiny eco home in Malaysia.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just got very inspired by that, and the serving that we did at that competition and seeing how I could make a difference. And I just, when I had to hand over all my titles and hand over my crowns, I was like, I don't want to stop this, actually. I want to just give myself a lifelong title. So I did. And
Yeah.
I crowned myself the official Green Queen. And actually, I've got a crystal aquamarine crown coming soon. It's actually on the way, a custom one.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Yeah.
gave me this idea.
Yeah. I was like, we
this
need
is,
a crown. We need a green
yeah.
emeraldy type crown. Beautiful.
So this one's infused with Reiki energy, and it's going to be something that I can wear, just to, if you believe in energy healing, of course. And so, yeah, I thought that was cool. And so as the official Green Queen, my passion has just grown and grown. I saw the amount of waste in the pageant industry, in the modeling industry, in terms of the clothing turnover, and also the toxicity in the products. I don't use any makeup now that's animal tested. Everything is cruelty free. All of the products that I use are B Corporation companies. If you don't know what a B Corporation is, they are certified to, be in complete alignment with people and planet before profit. And it's just grown and grown. I'm mostly plant-based, and I just love, it's not about shaming people or condemning them for what they're currently doing and what their actions are. It's just through my own actions and through my own platforms, sharing what I do and showing another way. If people aren't, currently doing things that they might not be thinking about the environment, maybe they are, but if they're
Yeah.
not, then it's just giving them other ways and showing that green is the new sexy.
Great. And on your journey around the world, maybe share some of the experiences where you've been with women and shared your story, or given them that, you sparked that light in them to make that transformation, because you've spoken around the world, you've spoken on the Women's Economic Forum, you had those. So just share one or two moments where maybe you've just something that's touched your heart, like a magic moment on your journey so far.
Yes, so when I've been at these speaking events and I've been talking, I've actually been really honoured because I've had a lot of women come up to me and just share with me their stories, because they felt that they were able to from me sharing mine. So when you share your story, you allow other people to step out of their darkness and into their light as well, because, people might be hiding in shame about certain things, but then when you share something, it gives them the opportunity to understand that, they're not alone in this. And so I love it when women come and share things with me and they're like, thank you so much for your vulnerability, because we're not used to seeing models, share this side of themselves. It's a very filtered world. We live in a world that is, Instagram filters left, right, and center. We don't know what's real anymore. And I think it's nice that, to try and create with social media and, authenticity and more connection. It doesn't have to be this filtered world. And then also another time, a 16-year-old girl actually messaged me on Instagram, and she was like, please, please, please tell me, how can I get loads of followers? And I said, well, what do you mean? And she said, well, you've got followers. I see all these people who are successful with followers. And I said, look, don't focus on the number, don't focus on the following. That is something that, had I have known this when I was much younger, I would have focused more actually on my specific gifts. So I said, what do you love to do? She said, I love singing and I love acting. And I said, okay, just forget about the number, forget about who's following you, just consistently post every single day the things that you love to do, and then the right audience is going to come. Don't just post things because, we've going down this route of we're posting things actually for attention now. What's going to get me, people are doing dangerous pranks to get views and shares, but it's not right. And, I've kind of come full circle with this whole thing, having, been a model. And now I understand that actually, no, I'm going to post stuff that is important to me. And then you're going to attract the right audience. And I just wanted that girl to know that at her age, that, you will just naturally align. And because you're talented, I've seen her things, you're going to grow an amazing following naturally.
Yeah, they're going to be they're going to be the right followers. It's like a great messaging relationship. You want to pretend to be something and attract the ideal person, and then not be that person. Or you're just amazing. And I wanted to move into a tool or strategy, but that is a strategy in itself. That get away from this just about creating attention and coming from a place where it's your passion and you'll attract the right people. Thank you for that wisdom. So in fact, let's move into, because I know you've been on that spiritual journey. You've done that work on yourself, and now I see you doing a lot deeper, powerful, impactful work. And one of the hashtags, you've got lots of different hashtags that people pick it up, is that the self piece. And maybe talk a little bit about how you got to that, about what it means, and then maybe even then lead into something for the viewers and the listeners, a tool or strategy. Because I always ask my guests, can you tell us one of the tools or strategies that you use with the people that you work with, or even for yourself? And I would say that would be what I want to hear from you. So talk a bit about this self piece, and then come out with some tool or strategy that everybody could use. That would be great.
Yes, so I have been on quite the spiritual journey, and it's actually something that just naturally unfolded. I realised I was at a point, a number of years ago, where I was quite depressed. I was very anxious, and I couldn't really understand why. I was living in America. I was signed with a top modeling agency. I had, this awesome opportunity, but I just wasn't feeling pretty good inside. And it's weird because that had always been my goal, that had always been my dream, but I just wasn't feeling fulfilled. And just the way I can describe it is this feeling inside my stomach of not calm, and just not a feeling of peace. And so I just started following my guidance and following my intuition of doing things, which was essentially my spiritual journey. And every time I did something which, did some form of healing, or, I've done all kinds of things. I went and did a Vipassana, 10 days of silence. And every time I did these things, slowly that feeling in my stomach started to become more calm. And it was like I pulled back a little piece of peace. And so the reason I kind of came to this whole hashtag self-peace thing was I looked back and I was like, hold on, I've literally just been on a journey of self-peace, because now when I wake up, I feel, so much different, because I'm starting to, align with my true self. Before, I was, like we just spoke about, in a very filtered kind of industry, etc. And it wasn't really who I am. And now I've gone on this whole journey of discovering who I am, and really getting more into my passions, which is, the service work. And I found fulfillment there. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say, I am peace. But
No. I think you just created a little workshop for yourself, a piece of peace. Because that'd be just an amazing gift to give anybody, right? So maybe move into like a tool or strategy that you use with people, that you use for yourself, where they can get a piece of peace. Go ahead. Yeah.
So the two things.
Yeah. Okay. Two things. Yeah. Brilliant.
So the first one is I'm starting a hashtag role models movement. And the reason for that is every single person can be a role model. So I may have had a title, or, I may have had various different titles, but you don't need a title in order to be a role model. Every single person has an impactful story, because we've all been through things of what we've overcome, our traumas, the things that, are passionate to us. We all have unique gifts, skills, and talents. And these are what make you you, and what make you a role model to your community, your friends, etc. Like I said, it's not about followers, it's not about likes. That is not where your value lies. Your value lies in your story and the service that you can do to other people, and the impact that you make. So by following those things that you love, and the things, like I said with that young girl, you're going to feel more at peace, because you're doing things that you love. And so don't do things for the sake of, don't do things for the sake of, again, like we said before, attention. Do things because that's what gives you your joy and your passion, and then you'll claim your little pieces of peace. and then the second thing is do it scared. I have a lot of people say to me, well, weren't you scared when you climbed that mountain and it was minus 40 degrees and 100-kilometer-hour winds? Well, yeah, actually it was, and I'm not going to lie about it. And also when I did Miss Earth, I was on stage in front of 10,000 people, and even small things. Before everything, I get that feeling. But it's just about just doing it. Just do it anyway, regardless of if you're scared. Because I think some people just think sometimes I'm just like this supernatural person. No, I'm not. I just did it. I did it scared. Okay, I may have done it with a smile and fooled you. But the only way to gain confidence is to just do it and then gain the confidence that way. Just thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it isn't going to give you the confidence. The confidence comes in the action.
I mean, literally, as I'm hearing you, it was like the moment you went, "There's two things." It was like, so for those of you that are watching, it's if you want a piece of peace, there are two things. One, know that you're a role model. That there's something already great in you, and be that model in that area. And then that second one, if I remember it clearly, was do it scared. Do it scared because we're all scared of certain things, and as children, I think we were not afraid of the unknown, right? Because we would just go and give it a go, right? We knew we were scared, but we would give it a go, and then like remember small kids, we'd do it once and do it again, right? So suddenly it's immediate confidence. So thank you so much for that, Luissa. It's like that's cool because I got that now. I got the peace sign with those two things, right? So hopefully you as the viewers got that. If you want a piece of peace.
I am writing a book at the moment that's going to be titled #SelfPeace. So You'll learn more about my journey, and I'm going to be including, coaching things at the end of each chapter. So it's not fully materialized yet, but I've got all the skeleton, I've got all the notes, so keep an eye on that if you go follow my social media.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything less for you to have a book on self-peace. And on that note, like what is next? Other than the book, what else is happening? What's coming from Luissa, the official Green Queen? And then we'll get into like, how can people follow that journey? But yeah, go ahead, give us a little bit on like what's next for you.
Yeah, so another thing that I just want to share to any women watching this is you can just wake up and just decide that you want to do something different at any point. I have had a lot of different hats a lot of different times because I just wake up sometimes and I'm like, actually no, today I want to learn about herbalism. I may have been a model, but now I want to do this. So I've been retraining, I've been learning about herbalism, a lot about gut health. I've been working with a teacher on something called pranic healing. It's similar to Reiki, but it's a bit more powerful because I really, really want to step further into my service work now. And alongside the coaching. So it's whatever I can do to help people, and eventually once we come out of lockdown, hopefully I'll be able to do some retreats. But it's just that the point I want to make is there is no label that can encompass all that you are. So that's why, when you were sharing about who I am on the bio, you said, well, there's lots of different things because, who you are is lots of different things and lots of different interests. You don't just have to be one particular thing. So I just really wanted to reiterate that to the women out there if they feel that they are kind of boxed in or, if your friends think of you as one particular thing, don't worry about it. You can wake up and decide to be something else from the next day, And so what's next?
Tell me a bit about the 1111 villages. There you go. That's another piece of peace.
yes. Well, I'm born on April the 11th, so 11 is a very specific number to me. But in the spiritual community, one of the first kind of synchronicities the Lord I see is 1111. So it actually, I was in India with a lady called Roseanne, and she also in her birthday, her things add up to 11. So we both just kind of came to this idea that 1111 was the number. We knew the number was going to be big, because we're not here to play. We want to impact the world in a big way and leave a legacy. So 1111 was the number, and any light workers or anyone that is seeing this synchronicity, hopefully they'll see it's a calling card and be like, yeah, I'm going to join in. I want to help change the planet. So what this is we are transforming 1,111 villages with empowerment coaching and permaculture. So we've worked with a team of experts, and we actually have the models for the eco villages. And it's a very real solid plan. I know that some people think like, well, how are you going to do 1,111 villages? Well, it's going to happen because, we want to make this happen, and it is needed and it is necessary right now. So permaculture is a type of farming where you can turn desert land into thriving, abundant nature using this permaculture technique. So this is brilliant for places such as in Africa where, there's no rain, that people are still able to have organic, abundant, thriving nature. So I'm literally a beauty queen trying to solve world hunger and bring about world peace.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. The stereotype that people say, but I'm doing something about it, and I just think it's really, really amazing, this type of technology, and we're starting it in Africa. Roseanne is in South Africa. And my vision, so I'm just going to share with you in case there's anyone watching who can help me make this happen, is to have a fundraising concert, because I've got contacts in the entertainment industry, and fundraising concert like Live Aid to boost the world. So,
see, and you always wanted to be a singer. Now it's going to happen.
Rapper.
There you go. See, isn't rapper a form of singing? So there you go. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So please do share now.
Environmental rap.
Oh, I can't wait. So how do people follow the journey? How do people connect with you? How do people, even if there may be some woman that wants to reach out to you personally and so on, share the website or Instagram. What is the best way for people to follow your journey? Go ahead, do share. And the team will make sure that they'll add whatever you share as some written links underneath the YouTube channel.
Sure. Well, one person can't do this alone, so I'm looking for all kinds of hashtag role models to join me on this movement. And it's not, you don't have to join my 11 villages. It's, every single person has something that they can do to help boost the world in their own way. So I'd love if people could, take a picture of them doing something to help their community, and then tagging and hashtagging role models, and then tagging me on Instagram at Luissa Burton. I would love to share that on my story. And also on my YouTube as well. I've just recently started a YouTube channel on holistic health and wellness, spirituality. So I would absolutely love if you could give me a subscribe on there. And yeah. And
is the YouTube channel also Luissa Burton?
Yes, Luissa Burton.
Beautiful. So Instagram at Luissa Burton and YouTube at Luissa Burton, and then literally Google Luissa Burton and you'll find out everything about her.
You can go on my website, theofficialgreenqueen.com.
Okay, there you go, theofficialgreenqueen.com, because I'm sure there are people that have got many more questions that they want to ask you. So, Luissa, we're going to bring it to a close. Oh, absolutely. I've got to repeat that one again. Go out, do the things, do great things, celebrate your greatness, and post a picture and put hashtag role models, and Luissa will come and check it out. She might even give you a like or even a share if you're very, very lucky. So yeah, Luissa, once again, thank you so much for taking time out, and it's been an honour to see your journey, and I'm excited about the ongoing journey, especially everything about self-peace, and I wanted to share with you, and I'll share it publicly. Sometimes when we see beauty queens and pageantry, it's about getting an award, and then for the following year you have to go out and use your platform and do the service. And for you, it's like you've made it your lifestyle. So it's not like for 1 year. And so we want to celebrate the official Green Queen and keep doing it.
I've got some of my crowns here. Do you want to see?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah? Why not? Let's wrap with some.
I've got a few. Hold on.
Yeah, can't wait.
Right. I've got. Okay, I've picked the biggest ones.
Notice everybody said crowns as in plural.
Yeah, I've got 5 shown you
Yeah.
two. So actually, something that I thought was really cool when I was working with my pranic healing teacher, he actually said to me, so I don't know if the viewers know much about chakras, but we have the crown chakra. So, you know, that is about being of service to humanity. And so I was like, wow, this has actually given me a whole new meaning to my crowns. This is this one. This was my Miss Earth
Amazing.
England one.
Wow. There you
It's a
go.
big one,
And for
right?
those that don't know about the crown chakra, it's about just above your head here. That's why the crowns that are big are totally in with that. Got it.
Yeah. And then I've got this one here, which was the Miss Europe one.
Wow.
So these
Brilliant.
the cool ones.
And if you guys want to see the official Green Queen crown, make sure you follow Luissa on her Instagram, because I'm sure that's going to be coming up soon.
It's on the way.
All right, Liz, beautiful. Thank you again for taking that time out. I'm gonna close the show as I always do, but once again, thank you so much. Keep serving and keep empowering women.
Harry.
Pleasure. Okay. So for the rest of you, I just want you to realize that was super valuable. There were so many things that you could take there from Luissa. If you want to comment, put your comments in on the YouTube channel. If you like it, share it. And if you haven't subscribed, do so, because when you subscribe to the Empowering Women Show, you're actually going to end up subscribing to the Empowering Youth Show as well. You've got all the links there for our Instagram and Facebook at Harry Singer Foundation, and you've got the site harrysingerfoundation.com, where you can find out what we're up to. And if you want to donate to any of the youth leadership summits or even the women's empowerment programs, and Luissa will be one of the people that will be facilitating on that very soon this year, that's the place to do it. So I'll end as I always do. If you are a woman that was seeking some inspiration or reconnecting with your power, we hope that you're finding that from these episodes. And if you're an individual who is out there helping women, empowering women, especially vulnerable women, we are here for you. So stay connected, reach out to us, and let us help you. And I'll see you on another episode of Empowering Women very soon.